Hi, Solar Families. I'm really excited to be able to share with you our plan for virtual learning. And so we are going to talk about what school is going to look like for girls when they start on September the 8th. So I'm going to be joined today by Ms. Loera and Ms. White, and we're going to walk you through what every part of the day might look like. And so we are going to get started. As we get started, I want to let you know that we have kept in mind that virtual learning might not be the ideal situation for every family. There are many families with working parents like myself who might not be able to sit with their child to make sure that they're working and moving through their assignments. And so for that, we just want to let you know that the district did choose what they call the asynchronous option, meaning that live learning does not need to be happening all day long. And so this is going to provide a lot of flexibility for those families who might need to log in or complete assignments at a different time. And so we're going to talk you through that when we get to that point. So as we thought about what was important to us, we really thought about the Dallas ISD commitment so we could ground our work. And so I'm not going to read each one of these to you, but I want you to know as you look through our commitments that they are very much aligned to what the district has committed to. So for our solar considerations, we really thought about what was going to first align the most to our values, and then what was going to maximize the learning experience for all of our students. So we thought about safety. Obviously, that's our top priority, whether we're virtual or in person. And we're talking about the safety of our students, the safety of our families, and the safety of our teachers as well. Equity. So we want to make sure that girls have the same experience, whether they are virtual learning or face-to-face learning when that becomes an option, and that they all have that solar teacher and that solar culture that they can experience on a daily basis. The social emotional wellness is important to us because our girls have been able to experience that through Shine Time, through Sisterhood Circle, and all of the mindfulness practices that are incorporated into their everyday curriculum. And so for us, we just want to make sure that we understand that social emotional wellness is going to be critical as we move into all of these changes that are happening. And so we're going to keep that in check and keep that as a priority for ourselves. Consistency. So we heard your feedback loud and clear that for the families that are virtual learning, we want to make sure that the consistency happens. And so we are going to continue that consistency from virtual learning as we move into the building. And we're going to have systems in place so that girls know what to expect every day, that you know what to expect every day, and that we can have an environment where everyone is really thriving on that consistency. For feasibility, we really thought about a plan that was going to work for the long haul so that we can keep that consistency going and so that we could make sure that we aren't burning ourselves out trying to do things that we can't really keep going throughout the year. For student growth, so as you see this entire plan, what you're going to notice is that we are really trying to make sure that our girls are maximizing the amount of growth that they're making this year. We know that we might have a lot of gaps to fill. We know that we might have a lot of catching up to do, but that's what we are meant to do. And so we know that every girl doesn't have the same starting point. So we are going to meet them at their own starting point and push them along the way and measure that growth at the end of the year to ensure that we are progressing with each student. As far as engagement goes, we like to add our solar flair to everything that we do. And so our engagement is important because we want girls to be excited about their learning, to feel like they're a part of it, that they have some sort of ownership of it. So that engagement, you're going to see parts that we ask for feedback for so that we can make sure that we're maximizing that engagement too. So a term you might hear pretty often is learning module. So our learning modules are really going to look like the content that teachers deliver for a week. So every time they talk about a new learning module, they're talking about a new week's worth of instruction. And so those learning modules are designed to make sure that students are able to work at their own pace if they need to, or take their time and work at the direction of the teacher, but really to have a lot of choice in that. And so we looked at best practices for blended learning schools across the nation. And because we've already been doing blended learning before, this wasn't a hard transition for our teachers to make. So with the learning module, it's really just an upgrade of what we had already in place with the playlists and a lot of the different ways that teachers incorporated that blended learning into their classroom. And so now students are really able to take a more autonomous role in their learning. And so that's going to be important because there's going to be a lot of learner diversity, as we talked about, not one size fit all for everyone. So because they're working at different paces, they're going to be able to need to keep the pace up for themselves. And obviously all of this encourages that post-secondary readiness, meaning that they're going to be college ready, because if they can work through these learning modules that are much like a syllabus for college class, when they get there, that's going to be a piece of cake for them. And then allowing for the greatest amount of student growth. Like we said, because we're starting at different places for everyone, we're really pushing them to their growth targets. And then all of this really places an emphasis on the teacher as a learning designer. Our teachers are amazing, and they've been working so hard on designing best fit modules for each group of girls. And then fosters a culture of professional collaboration. So our teachers are working together, working across grade levels, working across contents to make sure that we are really maximizing all of our work so that we're not, working overtime, trying to get everything done. So what is this learning module going to look like? So every learning module is going to start with what we call our anchor instructional videos. So you're going to get to see a sneak peek of those, and we're really excited about them. But our teachers have already started creating these instructional videos so that as every student starts their subject, so if they're starting reading, for example, their reading class is going to start with this instructional anchor video. And so this is going to take the place of what we would usually have as our mini lesson, where our teachers would teach to the whole group for 15 minutes. And then they would move into their independent assignments. So the live instruction is happening when teachers start pulling small groups. And again, that is to maximize student growth so that teachers are spending the majority of time meeting students at their own level. And in a setting where they're actually going to learn. It's much easier to learn in a group of 3 to 8 students than it is to learn in a group of 30 students, especially on a platform like Zoom. So that small group instruction is going to be critical for us. Then the digital app assignments. So you guys have already experienced Lexia and ST Math and some of those apps, and we're just going to continue on, and we've purchased some new ones from the district, and so we're really excited about launching those this year. And so as you can see, these 4 components are going to continue regardless of whether students are virtual or we're able to move in person. And so this is a sample schedule. And the best thing about this sample schedule is that it is going to look relatively similar whether they're virtual or in person. So the timing is not going to change. I think the lunch periods might change a tiny bit, but besides that, everything will be consistent. So every day starts with Shine Time. So Shine Time is optional, but we know that it is a critical anchor for our girls to be able to start their day with the right mindset, with the right positive attitude, so that they are really ready for learning. And so every day, Monday through Friday, Shine Time will start at 8:20 for every class. And then we're moving into our videos. So you can see that the next core class that students move into will start with their video, and then they'll move into that independent time. Now within that independent time, that is when teachers are pulling small groups. And so that is going to look the same for each subject. So you can see it kind of moves the same way all the way down. And so then 6th grade is going to look similar, except for their instruction might look a little bit more like whole group or a little bit more like larger groups, because they are already going to be in pods that are designed to match their instructional needs. So like I said, all of these stay the same. As we move into virtual learning, they will feel very consistent. And so the only difference between the virtual and the face-to-face you'll see is that during this full virtual, we will have more options for self-paced, because we know that there are families who might be pushed into the situation and need some support for the flexibility. And so that'll obviously be the case for virtual, but not necessarily face-to-face, because once they're face-to-face in front of the teacher will really be able to guide them through the instruction as they need it. So now we're going to move on to anchor videos. So Ms. Loeta is going to talk to us about anchor videos, and she's going to explain to us a little bit more about what they're going to look like. Thank you.
The term anchor videos will be used a lot this year, and what we're referring to are the videos that teachers record to begin each lesson. And throughout these videos, the teacher will ask questions and just make sure that the student is paying attention and also that they're processing the information. As you can see on the screen, the teachers have already started recording, and so we are housing these videos and we'll give you a sneak peek on the new special editions for Bright Times. Okay, so some of the apps and the platforms that we're using are similar to last year, and you might already be familiar with them. For pre-K2, we are using Seesaw, and that's where those students will be submitting their assignments. For 3-6, the main platform is Google Classroom, and that's how they'll turn in all of their work. What is new this year for K3 is Dreambox, and for 3-6 we have Education Galaxy. And then the online virtual platform that we'll be using is Zoom. So anytime we have anything live, the students will be logging on with Zoom. And a lot of the other platforms we will be using, again, some of your favorites are ST Math and iStation. We have STEM Scopes for Science as well. Okay, so grading. We had a lot of questions last year, so we're going to go ahead and clear up some of that information now. We are creating a rubric to use for grading the assignments, and these are the indicators that we'll be using to guide our grading. So first, we'll be making sure that students are completing the assignment, so we'll be looking at how much was done. Also, we'll be looking at the mastery of the objective. So we'll be looking at how much the student understood. Lastly, we'll be looking at how much the student completed independently. So although sometimes parent support is needed, we really encourage that the student complete the assignment independently. That way the teacher knows how much the student understands and then can provide any support that is needed. For 3-6, we have very similar indicators. We will also be using a rubric. The only difference is we have added time as an indicator because when students are in 3-6, at this point they're older, they are more responsible, so they can take ownership as to when they turn in their assignments. Okay, so specials and electives. So although math and reading and all of those courses are super important, it is also very important to really feed the creativity and have that time for students to explore. And so we are still including specials and electives during virtual learning. So all specials teachers will be creating modules for all students. And so that looks like a combination of anchor videos that we talked about earlier and also independent assignments. For pre-K2, the assignments will be located on the teacher's website and they'll be turned in through Seesaw. And for grades 3-6, the assignments will be on the teacher's website and also those will be submitted using Google Classroom.
We're now going to talk about virtual attendance. Student engagement is essential for learning. So in the virtual environment, how do we take attendance? We're going to take attendance by students' attendance at Shine Time, in small group, going to a teacher's office hours. But what is most important is that students complete independent practice assignments. That is required, and so attendance will be taken if the students complete their practice assignments. Teachers will take attendance during all the live sessions, Shine Time, small group, teacher office hours. But if your child does not attend those live sessions, you're going to submit your attendance via Remind or send an email if your student will not be attending any live sessions. And please do so by submitting it by 4 p.m. each day. We have some important upcoming events, like tonight. We will be having a frequently asked questions session, but next week is a very important week. We have technology pickup. Technology pickup is not like it was before. All students, every single Solar Girl will receive a technological device. And so that is an iPad if you're in pre-K2, and it is a Chromebook if you are in 3 through 6. That is not optional. The district has made arrangements for every single scholar to receive one. So please make sure that you check Bright Time to see those times. School supplies, if you pre-order, will also be available, and hotspots, if you've completed a form, will be available. September, the first week of September, the 1st through the 4th, you will be receiving a personal call from your child's teacher this year, just so we can do introductions. As well, you're going to receive a grade level video, and on this video, you get to meet every teacher that your child is going to interface with throughout the year. And then September 8th, we just found out, it's going to be virtual, but it is our first day of school. And so we will see all our Solar Girls hopefully online. If not, make sure that you check your assignments. Things that you can look for in this first week of school: small group instruction. Your teachers will be posting that schedule, and then teacher office hours for you to get questions answered during the first week. And so the first week, we hope that it is an informative week, getting into a routine and a pattern, because school will be in session. How can you support us? So discuss online behavior expectations with your scholar. And so the teacher will provide that through their newsletters, through their meetings with you. And so they're going to talk to you about that. And so it always supports us if you reiterate those same things so that we can be all on the same page. When possible, attend Shine Time. Our girls have been out of touch with us and out of touch with their friends. And so Shine Time is a great time to connect, be reminded of our Solar 6. And then it's also an opportunity. They also have another opportunity to engage with their peers and their teacher during small group sessions. Stay informed. This is the season to stay informed. Read your Bright Times, your newsletters. Check our website frequently, because as you know, things change on a regular basis. So make sure you stay informed. Then we have our phenomenal parent organizations. Even though we're virtual, our parent organizations, PTO, Solar Cares, Solar League, all of our parent organizations are up and running, and we need you to continue to participate. Again, communication, and those are all the ways in which we'll be communicating. Parent portal is the one I really want to focus on. Make sure you have a login for Parent Portal. If not, call our main office and talk to Ms. Webster. She will get you connected. And then anytime you want to meet with the administration team or a teacher, we can easily schedule a Zoom call with you. We want to stay connected. And then lastly, we want to not just have student learners, but we want to have adult learners. And so these are some resources for you to be able to read and find out about what is distance learning, and how does it impact my child. And so make sure that you check those out on our website. Thank you for joining us for this. Watch it again, write down your questions, and bring them to our session tonight at 5:30. Good night.